So this is my advice to anyone who would like to buy a Mazda CX-5. To be honest, after using it for the last how many months? Like 5 months. This is the best car that offers you quality for what you pay for. I know there are many other competing vehicles within the same crossover category. There are Subaru Foresters, there are Nissan X-Trail. You can talk of Honda CRVs, but CRVs sometimes they are 7-seaters. You can talk of and I've said Nissan X-Trail, Forester, and Harrier. So those are like the biggest competitors of CX-5. But if you look at Nissan X-Trail, for instance, it is being sold right now at almost the same price as Mazda CX-5. But the reliability of X-Trails is something that you can highly doubt. Actually, there is a friend of mine mwenye anakuaga na garage, and he told me he's very happy when he sees people buying X-Trails because he knows that his garage will never lack job. I cannot mention his name, but we are good friends. So, and I took my car, this CX-5, for service at Potent Dynamics garage. So Potent Dynamic, he's very well known as a Mazda expert, an expert mechanic. So when I went with this car there, he was very surprised. He asked me, "What are you doing with a petrol car in my garage?" And I told him, "Bro, I'm here only for service." And he told me, "I expect that." So, and I was very happy to hear acknowledgement from certain people that the 2-liter petrol and generally Mazda CX-5 petrols, they don't have a lot of vigorous service exercise or maintenance routine. As long as you monitor your mileage and the regular service cycles, you don't need to pay special attention. And so what I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you are looking to buy a car that is reliable, I would highly recommend the Mazda CX-5. First of all, because of its value for the price, and also for the reliability. For the 6 months I have had it, no issue. Of course, this car, I got it as a very, very low mileage. It was around 20,000 kilometers. Right now it is clocking around 32,000. So I give this car sometimes to my brother so that he can also enjoy. So that's why the mileage has really gone quite faster than the expected, I would say, mileage for regular users. So for me, my Ushago ni Nyahururu, so it's like, let's say 400 kilometers to and from. So I travel there quite regularly nowadays because, I enjoy driving the car. It's not like when I used to have Nissan March, so ilikuwa inakataa kupanda some mirimas. So if you are looking for CX-5, to be honest, guys, don't think twice. Sawa, instead of spending your 2.7 million on X-Trail or adding another 1 million for you to go for a Forester, or adding another 1.5 for you to buy how do we call it, a Harrier, why don't you just buy a CX-5? But I know some people want to feel unique. I know CX-5 right now is becoming how can I say, a uniform on the Kenyan roads, and people are not comfortable with things that are becoming too common. So of course, if you are not happy with a common car, then probably you should avoid CX-5. But from my experience, I can tell you guys that I don't regret. I feel like I made the perfect decision. And before I ended up in this CX-5, by the way, I told you it took me 6 months to determine or to decide which car I wanted and how I wanted to buy it. So I went to Mombasa, I visited showrooms, I asked their prices, I visited like 10 individual importers in Nairobi. Some of them I know I visited them. I promised to do business with them, but I didn't. I learned a lot from them. I appreciate. But at the end of the day, there is one who held my hand and he told me, "Explore, come I teach you how to import." So that after you import this car for yourself, then you can also help people within your network because you have a following. And that's how I ended up, becoming an importer and educating myself about the process. So I don't know what I can tell you. The 2-liter one, I have already shown you how it consumes fuel from, when I'm doing long distance, the average is around 14-15 kilometers with a liter. When I'm within Nairobi, it averages around 13-12. So 13 or 12 kilometers with a liter. That is very, very good fuel efficiency as compared to, you know, what you would expect with you know, a crossover SUV car. So this car is very, very fuel efficient, nothing to fear about. I know a lot of people have so many considerations about how much will it cost you in fuel if you upgrade from, let's say, your 1500cc from your 1200cc. And for me, actually, that was one of my biggest worries. Nowadays, okay, if you are a smooth driver, you really don't have to worry about fuel consumption. This car will comfortably give you even 18 kilometers with a liter, especially if you are operating on flat roads, let's say, not on highways. If you don't you go to maram roads or rough roads, you will always get very, very good fuel efficiency with these cars. So nothing to fear, guys. If you have your 2.7 million to 3 million, we can look for you a good CX-5. Okay, the higher the money, of course, the better the quality, the higher the grade. But if you want to save, we can even get you a car that is 250,000 kilometers. But I can tell you, Japanese don't joke around with car maintenance. For me, I would prefer to import a car that is 250,000 kilometers from Japan than buying a car that is 100,000 kilometers that has been used locally for a year or two. I trust the Japanese systems. I have friends there. I have worked with them now for the last 6 months. And I can tell you guys, a car that is in Japan, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. That car has been serviced. Money has been spent on it to make sure that it is up and running as compared to Kenya. In Kenya, when you buy a car, it depends on your willingness to service it. Your how can I say, your pocket, if you have money or not, or even your understanding of the car. But in Japan, it is by law. You have no choice than to keep that car in good condition. But in Kenya, it is a choice. So if someone buys a car into Kenya and they don't maintain it for 1 year, it becomes a bad car or a worse car than someone who has kept a car in Japan for 10 years and maintained it as required by law. So don't fear about importation. Just ensure that you just use someone who knows the process and who guides you from A to Z to ensure that you detect any red flag that could show that car had an accident or had a recall or had been involved in floods or was used for public service transport and those kind of stuff. Otherwise, guys, enjoy your weekend and see you next week. Cheers and bye.